Hello, I guess I'm trying something new. Bear with me again. I told you I'm very new to this. This is all just a fun thing I'm trying. Some people have asked, what are you up to? Like a little embarrassed. I think my kids are little, my husband. But this is something to me I've always been slightly interested in. I actually watch YouTube videos. I've learned a lot of interesting information. So I kind of thought, I think I can do this. And actually, there's lots of things I think I know something about. A little obnoxious, but not everything, but just some of my things. And people have asked me in the past, like, oh, do you have any tips about this? And if I don't know, I research it. So that's why I'm doing it. It's kind of crazy. I also realize I'm not really worried about looking goofy. I know some people need to look cool and whatever, hip all the time. I'm totally okay with being corny. And it's kind of nice getting older and not caring about things like that. Anyway, let's see what else I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about cruising today, and not cruising as in I'm going out to get a guy. I'm talking about cruising on a ship. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is I'm actually going on a cruise. I'm going on in 2 days. I'm going with my mother and my two sisters, and it's for her birthday. And we're going up to Canada, of all places. Now, I'm not a big fan of that idea. It's for my mother, so we go where she wants to go. But it's going to be cold and slightly rainy, and it tells us we need to wear our winter coats and hats. And it's really going to play with my brain in how to even pack or get my head behind. But it should be a good time. We're all going to be together celebrating my mother's birthday, so I'm excited. I have gone on quite a few cruises. I personally think they're a great idea. I think they're a great deal. That's why I'm going to talk to you about today, because I personally think in the land of vacations, you get your most bang for your buck on a cruise. Now, granted, you can't go on the biggest, fanciest ship that just came out last year and has the newest water slide or ice rink. That you will not get a good deal. Or you can't go in Christmas time when the whole world wants to go. But if you're willing to go, maybe on our vacations, and you don't have to have the fanciest, newest boat out there, there are so many ways to go for a good deal. Actually, my husband and I went on a cruise last year, 5 days out of Florida, and it was a nicer boat. It cost us like $229. Now, granted, we were down in the bottom of the boat, but it was okay because you only slept there, and then you went up and you got to enjoy everything else that people who were up on the top got to enjoy. I kind of felt a little bit like the Titanic, the people on the bottom. And I hope we didn't get an accident and they lock us down there. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about where to find a cruise, what sites to book it on, and some helpful tips in my mind of not getting sick and ways to possibly save money. Number one, if you're going to start looking for a cruise, I would recommend going on a site called vacationstogo.com. Again, I'm going to try to put that into the bar below, whatever. The reason why I like this site is it's very visually, I don't know, it's just good to look at. And you can narrow down your choices. You can say, I want to leave out of this port, I want to go down to the Caribbean, or I need to go out of the month of June or the month of March, and it will proceed to put up only the cruises that fit that criteria. And it breaks it down by how old the ship is, the itinerary, everything like that. It's beautiful. And then you can actually see what you want. It really is visually very nice to choose. The next one is you don't want to buy it from there. You go to cruise.com. I've gone on, I think, 5 or 6 cruises, and I've always bought through there. Because believe me, it's not because I love them or have some allegiance to them. They always have the best price. But they're not fun to look at. The way they organize their ships, it's so confusing you would get a headache. So you go to the vacationstogo.com to find it, and then cruise.com to book it. The next stage, hello Christopher, get out of here. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to another site called cruisecritic.com. And why I like this site is because it actually has a bunch of people going on cruises. And there are people kind of corny like me who actually like to share their information. And it's so cool because you actually can look up the ship you're going on, look at the ports, and they give you suggestions, not because they're trying to sell it, because they don't get any money in this. It's just people telling people what they've learned. From restaurants to go to excursions to purchase. That's another tip. Never, and I mean never, buy your excursion through the boat. It's like triple the cost. And you say, well, how can you trust someone on an island? Well, there you go. You go to Cruise Critic and they have 500 people who've had experience with this vendor and they love him. So you could almost go on that. It's not like you're totally picking a stranger. You actually have some people to hear their feedback. The next thing I want to tell you about, so now we've talked about the 3 sites. Cruise Critic is great because it's going to give you some helpful hints. You actually can be part of what's called a roll call. I've never done this, but you can learn about all the people that are going to be on the ship with you that time. And some people like to get together and have a little party. I've never done that, but I have gone on to find out lots of things. Like all my excursions have been booked courtesy of the information I've learned on that site. The next thing I want to talk to you about is avoiding seasickness. I personally can't get sick very easily, and this is one trick I've done. I take Dramamine or Bonine, whichever one of those are motion sickness medicines, and I take it half a pill, prophylactically the night before I get on the ship. And you take it at night because it kind of does make you drowsy. So I take it at night, it makes me sleepy, I wake up, I get on the ship. Then I take it the next night when I'm going to bed. And the entire time I'm on the trip, I take a half a tab every night I'm on the trip. Just lets you go to sleep. And you will not experience, when I say any seasickness, any. And meanwhile, you don't have to wear a goofy patch behind your ear or a big bracelet or any of that stuff. And the other good thing is, it actually is a nice sleep aid. If you're in a new surrounding and you don't feel comfortable, you will go right to sleep. I've also been at the bottom of a ship, like I said, with my husband for the 229 deal. And if ever you're going to get seasick, that would be it. And I did it. The other thing I want to talk about is alcohol. You can bring alcohol on the boat. You can bring a bottle of wine per person. And that means if you have 2 people in the cabin, 2 bottles. 4 people in your cabin, 4 bottles. The other good thing is you can't get the big Magnum. It's got to be the 0.75, I think, size. So that's a good thing. Be careful about the alcohol. Again, I'm talking about deals, and as you know, that's where the cruise ship makes their money. They love for people to drink from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to bed. And the alcohol is ridiculously expensive. They have these packages now where you can buy an alcohol package, but even they are very expensive. I mean, they're literally like, I want to say like $60 a day, but you have to have it for every. Okay, I'm back. And this is the next part of the thing. Anyway, I'm getting good at trying this. I've never gone to that many minutes. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I'm going to speed it up right now. The last part I want to talk to you about is I talked about excursions. I actually wrote some things down. That's the goofiest thing I've ever. The wine. Be careful about the silly restaurants on the boat. Not necessary. They've got delicious food in the dining room. Why would you pay extra to go eat at their steakhouse? I do not recommend that. In my mind, definitely go and enjoy every part of the cruise. You don't have to buy the pictures, take the pictures. I think that's very fun. Take the pictures, and then at night you can go check them out every day. Maybe you want to buy one, maybe you don't. Just fun. I think some of my funniest laughs I've had on a cruise are posing for the pictures and then checking them out the next day, and they are ridiculous. I think I've shared all I can share. I'll probably think of something as soon as I stop. But anyway, this is my first informational video on cruising. I hope you enjoy.